Coming up on the November 18th edition of Sports Extra. It came down to the last minute. So how did the Heels drop the ball in the final seconds? And what does it mean for the rest of the season? We have those answers.
We journalists are always told to stay neutral, so this week, I guess we can finally say we're all for Switzerland. We look at this freshman's impressive Saturday showout.
Never gets old going to the show, right? Yeah.
It sure doesn't get old for the field hockey team. We take you inside the NCAA tournament. All that and more, Sports Extra starts
right now.
From the University of North Carolina School of Journalism and Mass Communication, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics, this is Sports Extra.
Let's rip this one off like a Band-Aid. The storied, nay, legendary UNC men's basketball team lost to Belmont at home. Welcome to Sports Extra. I'm Madison Way.
And I'm Georgia Walker. But don't fret, Tar Heel fans. This is North Carolina. So for every loss, you can count on a bunch of victories, right? But first, the tough stuff. PJ Hairston and Leslie McDonald are still waiting to hear what sort of punishments they might be facing from the NCAA. But in the meantime, there's plenty of basketball to be played. And this weekend, those games came with mixed results. Friday night began the Hall of Fame tip-off event as the Tar Heel men's basketball team defeated Holy Cross 62-54 behind a career-high performance from point guard Marcus Page. The Heels were tied at half because of a dismal 27.3 first-half field goal percentage, but Page led the charge in the second half, scoring 16 of his 23 points after the break. Bryce Johnson also added 12 points on 6 of 12 shooting as the Heels improved to 2-0 on the season. The Heels had a short turnaround as the Belmont Bruins came to the Smith Center for a Sunday matinee, and boy was it a show. James Michael McAdoo led a second-half comeback with 27 points and 13 rebounds. But it wasn't enough to overcome the hot shooting from Belmont's J.J. Mann. Mann one-upped McAdoo with a career high of 28 points and erased a 6-point deficit in the final minutes by draining 3 threes, including the game-winning dagger right here. It was a heartbreaking defeat for the Tar Heels, and Mann said he was ready to seize the moment.
It's a dream come true. It's something I was, working on this summer. Every day is, here we go, going North Carolina. You're gonna have to step up.
And joining us now is basketball analyst Ryan O'Rourke. Ryan, 2 major factors in yesterday's loss, the big one, free throw shooting, but also perimeter defense. So did the Heels shoot themselves in the foot with their foul line shooting?
Madison, it's more like they cut off their own legs. They weren't even shooting baskets out there. They were throwing up bricks all night from the free throw line. This game wouldn't have even been close if they would have taken care of business at the free throw line. We're talking the fundamentals of basketball here. Free throws. There are no excuses for a Division I basketball team to miss 26 free throws in a game. 26. I'm sure it's something that haunted Coach Williams' dreams because it certainly haunted mine.
So, Ryan, not only could they not capitalize from the free throw line, but they couldn't stop Belmont from behind the three-point line either. So why were they having so much trouble defending the perimeter?
Well, Belmont did a great job of using the combination of ball screens and penetration and kick to get open looks that ultimately led to 15 made threes on the game. Coach Williams made the halftime adjustment to switch all ball screens, and it proved to be pretty effective in limiting their open looks. But if we take a look at the last play of the game right here, you can see there's confusion between J.P. Tokido and Luke Davis as to what to do on the handoff to J.J. Mann. Let's take another look at this. Davis assumes the switch, but Tokido goes under the screen, which gave Mann all the space he needed to knock down the game winner.
Yeah, that's hard to watch even the second and third time around, but it was a tough way to go down for the Heels. Let's look at the big picture though. Marcus Page, James Michael McAdoo each had tremendous performances this weekend. Who else impressed you? After watching both games this weekend, I'm convinced that Bryce Johnson is going to be a huge contributor to this team. Johnson has reached double-digit points in every game this year and has provided a huge spark off the bench on both sides of the ball. Look at this block right here. Get out of here. He's extremely efficient on the offensive end with a 69% field goal percentage, but just as important is his work on the offensive glass. He attacks the boards better than anyone on the team and does a great job of keeping plays alive and allowing the Heels to get second chance points like this putback slam right here. Not only that, he seems like a little bit of a hype man, and he seems to be getting a lot of benefit from the attention that James Michael McAdoo is getting. So maybe he'll continue to produce. After all, the Tar Heels schedule doesn't get any easier. That was Ryan O'Rourke joining us in the studio. Thanks, Ryan.
This weekend was all a part of the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame 2013 tip-off tournament. The tournament continues next weekend at the Mohegan Sun Arena in Connecticut, where the Tar Heels kick off the action on Saturday against the University of Richmond. Other teams at the tournament include Fairfield and last year's NCAA champion, Louisville.
The 12th-ranked women's basketball team was far away from home this weekend as the Heels headed out west to take on UCLA. Carolina bounced back from the loss to Tennessee and defeated the Bruins 78-68. Freshman Alicia Gray led the Heels by dropping 30 points and grabbing 10 rebounds. Gray was red hot from deep, hitting 6 of her 11 three-pointers. Gray is the first freshman to score 30 in a game since Ivory Lauda did it in the 2003-2004 season.
2 final indictments bring the total to 5 in the investigation tied to the UNC football scandal. The 5 are the first in the country to face charges for violating sports agent laws. Carly Swanson joins us live at the Old Well.
Yes, court records show that former NC Central quarterback Michael Johnson, as well as Willie Barley, who worked for a sports agency, are being charged with multiple counts of athlete agent inducement.
Johnson made his first appearance before a judge at the county courthouse. He faces 3 counts of athlete agent inducement.
First, I'd like to call the court's attention to the matter of Michael Johnson.
Johnson is accused of violating the state's sports agent laws in 2010 by giving Georgia-based sports agent Terry Watson a location to meet former UNC football player Greg Little. During that meeting, Watson gave Little $5,000. Johnson is also accused of providing Watson with a location to send 2 packages to Little, each containing $100. His attorney, Bill Young, spoke on his behalf.
Johnson was an extraordinary student athlete, not associated with or affiliated with or working for any agency at all.
Under the Uniform Athlete Agents Act, agents are not allowed to give anything of value to a student athlete until the athlete has officially signed with the agency.
My view of this statute is it's designed to protect any student athlete from the grips of an agent. Period.
District Attorney Jim Whittle said in an in-depth investigation by the Secretary of State's office, it shows Johnson helped an agent entice Little, which is not allowed.
It's to protect the person being induced. We're not alleging that this defendant was being induced.
3 others also face charges in this case, including former tutor to football players Jennifer Wiley-Thompson, Georgia-based realtor Patrick Jones, and Willie Barley, who worked for Watson's agency.
Anytime someone's charged with a crime, it's a serious matter.
The charge of athlete agent inducement is the lowest level felony, and the 5 people don't have any prior criminal record in the state, so they would likely receive probation and a fine.
Of the 5 people being charged, Michael Johnson was the only former student athlete involved with the case. Now they're all set back in court on December 17th. Back to you.
Let's leave the courtroom drama and go back to the field. The football team got to 500 this weekend for the first time since September, but the Heels made it as hard on themselves as possible. Pitt scored the first points of the game on a field goal, but Carolina responded with 24 straight points, including 2 rushing touchdowns by quarterback Marquise Williams and a punt return touchdown by freshman Ryan Switzer. That's 2 straight games for him with a punt return TD. The Pitt Panthers, however, would not go gently into that good night as they capitalized on 2 fourth-quarter fumbles by the Tar Heels to tie the game at 27. But with 5 minutes left, Ryan Switzer put the team on his back, returned another punt 61 yards for the game-winning TD. Final score, 34 UNC, 27 Pitt.
Football analyst Luis Fernandez now joins us live in the studio. Luis, that's now 4 straight wins for Carolina. What are we to make of this team?
Well, Georgia, the Heels had won their previous 3 games by an average of 21 points. A big part of that being a playmaking defense. Pitt quarterback Tom Savage had pressure in his face all day. Carolina's defense got 5 sacks in the first half alone. One player who had a really impressive day was senior defensive end Kareem Martin. He had 3.5 sacks and 2 forced fumbles. Talk about helping out your draft stock. Senior defensive back Terry Schenkel also had a good day, registering the first 2 sacks of his career. One thing we learned in this game is that Carolina's defense needs pressure in order to succeed. Whenever Savage had a clean pocket to step up into, he was able to pick apart the secondary with ease, which is a big reason for that comeback.
So, Lewis, Carolina has 2 games in the Marquise Williams era. What identity is the offense starting to take?
Well, there's definitely an emphasis on the run. The coaching staff really tried to pound the ball with a play distribution of 35 runs and 27 passes. A big reason for so many runs? Using Marquise Williams' skill advantage to help the offense. He really has a unique combination of speed, power, and agility, which was showed off in his 2 red zone touchdown runs. One thing the offense needs to do a better job of is throwing the ball downfield. A lot of the big plays have been like this one to Ebron. Short passes that end up going for big yards after the catch. If the offense doesn't start throwing the ball downfield, the safeties are going to creep up into the box to stop the run. Now, let's be honest. One of the biggest plays came from one of the smallest players on the field. Some were overlooking him, but at the end of the day, Ryan Switzer had some people thinking of one Giovanni Bernard. Something the Heels shouldn't overlook is Old Dominion. A win against them this Saturday, and the Heels would be bowl eligible. With the showdown against now-ranked Duke looming ahead, the Heels better not overlook ODU, which is currently on a 4-game winning streak of its own.
No win is an easy win in college football. That's Luis Fernandez. Thanks for joining us, Luis.
As the saying goes, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Reporter Susanna Black says Carolina is fortunate that one of its stellar athletes is an example of that.
Last year, Roy Smith was living a dream, playing 2 sports he loved at the school he fell in love with.
Even at 10 years old, I felt like football and track was something I really wanted to do. And being that it was one of my dreams, I just felt like just watching and going to the games, I was like, man, I can do this.
That was until this past summer when everything changed in a way Smith never saw coming.
Yeah, I was training all summer, and it got to a point where my coach, he called me into his office and told me that I wasn't allowed to go to training camp, but then when school started, the compliance office told me I wasn't even allowed to practice.
By NCAA rule, an athlete with a scholarship in a revenue sport like football can also play a non-revenue sport such as track. But if the scholarship is for a non-revenue sport, that athlete cannot also play a revenue sport.
I was just really hurt at the fact that just one rule couldn't allow me to just cut half of my life off,
But as big an obstacle as that was, the athlete is clearing it as easily as he clears his hurdles.
I feel like going from football and not participating, I really didn't lose as much as I thought because I still was accepted no matter which direction I went into.
After getting over the initial disappointment of missing out on football, Smith is now fully focused on his track goals.
We're going into indoor season in January, just make it to nationals, probably indoor or outdoor, either one would be fine.
Reporting from Chapel Hill, I'm Susanna Black.
Smith should be a solid contributor for the Heels in conference competition in the spring. It's tournament time for the women's soccer team.
We look at how the Heels extinguished the Liberty Flames and how one defender is making an impact of her own.
Connect with us online by liking the Sports Extra Facebook page and following us on Twitter @SportsExtra_UNC.
A diagnosis of breast cancer changes your life forever.
She told me I needed a mastectomy. I was scared, absolutely in shock.
But you need to know that you're not alone. There are teams of medical professionals, support groups, and therapists, and those who can help you plan for life after cancer. Before you undergo surgery for breast cancer, get the facts. Make sure you know your breast reconstruction options. For more information, visit broaddayusa.org.
Brush, brushy, brush, brushy, brush, brush your teeth. Every day and every night. Now it's your parents' turn. Here's what you gotta do. You have to have your toothbrush so that they can brushy brush your teeth. Good job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Help your teeth stay healthy. Brushy brush with a grown-up every day.
So who's going to do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
G-morning, sunshine. Wakey, wakey. Text me. Are your parents home later? We can hang. LUV, love you. JK. Holla back. Holla back. Holla back. Are you with your friends? That's lame. We're in a huge fight right now. XO. Would you dream of something I did? Are you on your way to the mall? I'm lonely. Nude pics. Send me some. Text me.
Another year, another NCAA tourney for the UNC field hockey team.
The UNC women started off the NCAA tournament first round against number 14 Delaware Saturday at Francis E. Henry Stadium. UNC got off to a great start when Nina Nauman and Emily Wold combined with this great give and go to set up the Tar Heels' first goal in the 9th minute. Delaware was quick to bounce back and tied it up after this 1-1 after number 10, Esme Pete scored off this penalty corner. Carolina then scored 3 quick goals to kill off any chance of a comeback from Delaware. UNC eventually won 6-2 to head into Sunday's match with Wake Forest. And the Heels came prepared as they returned to the field to face off against Wake Forest Sunday. The Demon Deacons set the tone of the game early, scoring in the first half, but the Heels answered the call with 2 goals. The Heels took command of the field going into the second half, responding to the Demon Deacons' second goal with 3 goals of their own, including the winning shot by number 5, Charlotte Craddock. The Heels defeated the Deacons 5-2, earning their spot in the field hockey Final Four for the 5th year in a row. Head coach Karen Shelton said the Heels' focus is what allowed them to win.
Every pass that we made was contested, and I just feel like they made us really focus. So, but proud of our Heels. I think there were some stellar goals out there today, and again, just thrilled and relieved to be going to another Final Four.
UNC faces UConn Friday in Norfolk, Virginia in the semifinals. The defending national champion UNC women's soccer team is still in the running for its 23rd national title.
And on Saturday, the Tar Heels took on Big South Conference champion Liberty in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Liberty Flame fans took over Fetzer Field, but the Heels smothered their enthusiasm. Within the first 15 minutes, Summer Green split Liberty's back line with this pass to Kelia Ohai. Ohai sent the ball into the net for a 1-0 lead, her first goal of 2. Then a shot from Green deflected off the keeper, and Paige Nielsen was there for the finish. In the final minutes, Cameron Castleberry scored her second career goal to end the game 4-0. Senior Crystal Dunn is still out with an injury, but it doesn't look too bad. As you can see, she was still dancing on the sidelines. The Heels outshot Liberty 23-3. Ohai said her offensive mindset led her to 2 goals.
It started just with me deciding that I was going to go 1v1 every time I got the ball, and I think that confidence kind of began to build, and I was able to score 2 goals, and I think everyone played amazing. We had some amazing finishes, so I think 1v1 was the big thing for me today.
Saturday was Ohai's 6th multi-goal game of her career. She totals 39 career goals.
The game wasn't just an offensive win. This was the team's 13th shutout of the season. Number 15 sophomore Katie Bowen joins us now. Katie, congratulations on the victory.
Thank you very much.
So you're a pretty versatile player. You play outside mid, and center defense. How do you adapt to each new position?
I mean, it is hard, but over my career as playing as a soccer player, I've played in various positions. I was originally just an attacking midfield, but when I came to UNC last year, they tried me out at centre back after Caitlin Ball had a head injury. And I did well there, and so I play there frequently during the games and in midfield, but I love both.
So when you have so many positions that you play, you have to have a favorite, or you have to have one that you feel most comfortable in. So what do you think is your strongest position?
I think my strongest position would be midfield, just because I'm very attacking minded. But I love playing the back 4. I love my support around me. I love Satara Murray, Megan Brigman, and Hannah Gardner. They're great players, and yeah, I love playing the back line as well.
Well, you're surrounded by a lot of great players.
Yeah.
UNC won national championship last year, your freshman year.
Yeah.
You're just a sophomore, you already have a national championship.
I know.
Do you feel like you have like a target on the team's back going into this year's?
I mean, there's definitely added pressure on us because, yes, we are the defending national champions, but I mean, I love that pressure. I thrive in it, and I love taking down teams, and they can put all the pressure on us they want, but we want to go back to back, so they better watch out.
I mean, your accent's very easy to notice. You're from Auckland, New Zealand.
Yeah.
What's the difference between playing in Chapel Hill and playing at home?
So different. At home, I wouldn't be playing college soccer. I'd be playing for a club. The standard definitely wouldn't be as high as this. There's no NCAA, there's no national championship. But here, the standard is just so high, and I love it. My game's improving.
And you can see the Heels in action on Friday at SWITZER Field when they take on Indiana in the second round of the NCAA tournament. Thank you.
Thank you.
We hear it all the time. You are what you eat.
So what do these Heels dig into? When they need to dig in their heels. Next on Sports Extra.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Welcome home, man.
Danse, balance, suis la cadence, ondule bien tes hanches au bal du dimanche. Danse, que la fête commence, dans ma belle robe blanche, je suis ton chou.
You didn't give up on sex. Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Find yours at bedsider.org.
The Carolina volleyball team finished up its at-home regular season schedule this weekend.
And it began with a sweep of Virginia Tech on Friday. Carolina started off strong, winning the first set 25-15, but the Hokies put on the heat, and in the second set, they scored kill after kill. However, Carolina came back with great plays, including this kill from Jovana Bielica, helping the Heels win 25-20. By the third set, the Heels got their groove back and dominated the Hokies, winning 25-14 and securing their 23rd victory of the season. The Tar Heels went head-to-head against Virginia on senior night at Carmichael Arena Saturday. The win wouldn't have been possible without the team's youth, like number 21 redshirt freshman Haley McCorkle, who had 12 kills and 5 blocks. Number 7 sophomore Victoria McPherson added 14 kills with a season-high 8 blocks. The Heels dominated the first set but struggled to find chemistry in the next set, dropping the second one 22-25. UNC bounced back in the next 2 sets. Senior Caleb Behringer and grad student Jovana Bielica played well, combining for 11 kills and 3 critical blocks to lead the Heels to a 3-1 win.
Some Carolina teams will be heading out of town for postseason play this weekend. The men's cross-country team received an at-large bid to the NCAA National Championships for the first time since 1991. On the women's side, junior Annie Lahardy earned an individual bid to nationals after finishing 7th in the 6K at the Southeastern Regional Championships on Friday. UNC will meet 30 other teams in Indiana for the national championships on Saturday. The men's soccer team earned an at-large bid to the NCAA National Championship Tournament and will host South Florida on Thursday. Center back Osei Okwanu is an ACC Defensive Player of the Year. Fellow defender Jonathan Campbell and goalkeeper Brendan Moore earned second-team all-conference honors.
UNC has about 800 varsity athletes, and they have to be in top shape to compete for championships. Janelle Davis tells us proper nutrition is as important to the mix as cardio and weightlifting are.
Studying,
training, and competing. Now athletes have another thing to add to their plates: nutrition. Junior thrower AJ Hicks knows eating healthy is essential.
As an athlete whose goal was to put on weight, putting emphasis into your nutrition is definitely important.
Offensive lineman James HURST agrees.
Being a big guy, we have to keep weight on a lot of times, and you can put good weight or bad weight on, so that's determined on how you decide to eat and what you decide to eat.
UNC has 2 full-time sport dietitians who oversee more than 800 student athletes. Nearly half the schools in the ACC don't have sports nutritionists, which is something UNC sport dietitian Rachel STRATTON expects to change.
Sports nutrition is incredibly important. About 30 years ago, strength and conditioning was this new wave of something that was going to come in and improve athletic performance. But in the past 10 years, sports nutrition has been this new wave.
UNC nutritionists aim to educate athletes by offering dining hall tours, speaking to teams with food demonstrations, and posting a dot system in the athletic dining hall showing athletes the benefits of certain foods. Stratton believes nutrition education is invaluable.
They find that they have much better energy, better performance, better strength, power, endurance. The secret's getting out. Nutrition's the new competitive edge.
She recommends eating every 2 to 4 hours, staying hydrated, and eating fruits, vegetables, lean protein, and carbohydrates with each meal. But ultimately, it's up to the athletes. So what are they dishing up?
Oatmeal with bananas. Steak or any red meat.
I like peanut butter and jellies before games.
Greek yogurt and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Cheeseburger. Clearly, some athletes are more receptive than others. In Chapel Hill, I'm Janelle Davis.
Among the dirty 30 things athletes are not supposed to ingest are some college staples, ramen noodles, soda, and alcohol, along with some southern favorites like fried foods, margarine, and gravy. Runners were all over campus this weekend.
But it wasn't a track or cross-country event. We have that story next on Sports Extra.
Don't forget to tune into our sister shows, Carolina Week at 5 p.m. every Wednesday on Time Warner 24 or Campus Channel 34, and Carolina Connection at 8:30 every Saturday morning on WCHL 97.9 FM.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Ready or not, here I come.
Take time to be a dad today.
Maybe he's really focused.
Hey, Michael. Michael. Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
A single ember that escapes from a wildfire can travel more than a mile. That single ember can ignite and destroy your home or even your community. You can't control where that ember will land, only what happens when it does. Get Fire Adapted now at fireadapted.org.
Know what?
What?
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're going to be hanging out a little bit more.
When we talk about runners, it's usually in the context of a track meet or cross-country meet.
But you know what, Georgia? Sometimes the runners at Carolina aren't always competing for UNC. Sometimes they're racing for something bigger than first, second, or third place. Tar Heels took over the streets of Chapel Hill on Saturday morning for the 6th annual Eve Carson Memorial 5K for Education. The race honors former UNC student body president Eve Carson, who was murdered in 2008. The race's proceeds benefit the Eve Carson Memorial Scholarship, which rewards select students who make Carolina a better place in academics, social justice, and leadership. The 2012 race raised more than $52,000, and race organizers hope to beat that mark this year with an increase in participants. Georgia, did you run the race? Did you do it?
Well, I signed up. I got donated. It's a great cause, but I'm not much of a runner, so I kind of sat at the finish line and cheered on friends.
All right, well, that does it for this edition of Sports Extra. Thanks for watching.
Good night.